Everybody, we're back with step 3 of Business Basics. This is Robbie Hendricks, and we are going to be working on the invite right now, okay? The invite is the most effective way to approach your contacts about your health, the opportunity, and the product, okay? And we train the invite because a lot of times when people get started, they're very, very excited. They want to talk to a lot of people, and sometimes people don't know really how to talk about business. They don't know really how to set it up properly, so people come with the right mindset to a presentation, or if it's just a presentation with you, or if it's a product presentation. The invite is all about setting people up properly so they come in with the right attitude, so they know what they're coming to see, but also that we didn't say too much where they've already made assumptions about what it is. Okay, so the invite actually is very, very simple. Sometimes people are really worried about, oh my gosh, how am I going to talk to my friends and family, when really it's simple. It's really as simple as you're really excited about something, you're just going to invite your friend or family member to come check it out. So sometimes people kind of wonder, well, what's the best way to approach people? So before I even get into all the training, what I'm going to tell you is this. Look, if you're excited about something and you want your friends and family to check it out, how would you ask them to check it out? You know, like if you found a new band you were excited about, or a new artist, or saw a TV show you were excited about, how would you say, oh my gosh, I just started watching The Office, and I love it, you gotta check it out. We gotta sit down and watch it sometime. Whatever it is for you, just don't overcomplicate it, but just think, if I was really excited about something, how would I get them to come check it out without saying too much? So it really is that simple, okay? So don't overcomplicate it. When I got started, my way of inviting was very, very simple. It was like, hey Mitch, I just started working on this project and I'm hyped about it. I'm working with some incredible people. I gotta share with you, bro. I really think it's something that you would be into. What's your schedule Wednesday? Okay, so didn't overcomplicate it. You know, that's how I would say it. So you would want to invite, of course, in the way that you're comfortable inviting. That's one of the biggest things is being authentic. So let's get into the keys of successful inviting here. Before I get into that, I do want to say that inviting is something that you are going to want to practice. You're not going to be able to get all the information about inviting from this video. I wish I could do that for you, but inviting really is mastered by practice and mastered by role playing. So this video for you, much like all these videos, is just going to be a supplement to your local training and practicing inviting with your sponsor or your upline. Of course, some of you are probably, you're like, I already know how to talk to people, and that's great, but please follow this and take the advice a little bit. Trust me, we made this video based upon the patterns that we've seen people have in inviting, and of course, if you're watching, you probably already started talking to people. You probably have already talked to your spouse, or your roommates, or your friends. But hopefully this video gives you some ideas on how to make that the most effective as possible. And trust me, we want you to talk to absolutely everybody. Our goal is just to help you be as effective as possible, help you save time, and also have the best ratios of people you show the business to, the people that get started. And really, the invite is the first exposure that your friends and family get to your health. So to have the right approach and to set the right tone really does make a big difference. So the first thing to successful inviting is make sure you don't present, okay? Sometimes we get so excited about what we're doing, we get so excited about our product results, or so excited about the business or the timing, or we're in our own area, that we just want to tell people everything. We might be on the phone, like, well look, I gotta talk to you. I just got started with this business. It's called Your Health. It's network marketing. There's 4 different sets, 200, 400, 600, 800, but there's shipping. And, the product is NDS. It's all about absorbing. People just, talk and talk and talk. And unfortunately, people on the other line are oftentimes overwhelmed, or, they're multitasking. They're not really paying attention. So sometimes we make the assumption that everyone's just paying attention. They get it, but they really don't. So understand that it's an invite. It's not a presentation. We say it's an invitation, not a presentation. It's a movie preview. It's just supposed to get them excited enough so they come check it out. Okay, and whether they do it or not is totally up to them. So you're going to find the invite, we don't say too much. We're not going to talk all about the business in the invite. We're not going to talk all day about it. And sometimes people, they ask, well, are we trying to not give them information or something like that? It's like, no, we just really want to control the environment in which they see the business. We want to be able to show them all the different tools we have, the solution, the PowerPoint, and really help them understand what we're doing. So that's why we're not presenting over the phone. Okay, and that really is the next point, I guess, is understood that we do invite over the phone. And especially in 2012, there's so many different vehicles of communication with texting and Facebook and Skype and all these different things. We really think it's important to be old school and invite over the phone. For the most important reason is because people can feel you over the phone. They can hear you, they can hear your tone. I mean, that's why I'm doing this video and not just giving you this PowerPoint. I mean, that's why I'm doing this video and not just typing this training to you. Imagine how boring it would be if I was typing this training to you right now versus you can at least hear me, hear my tone, so you can see that I'm excited about training you. And it's the same when you invite people. They need to hear why you're so excited. They need to sense that, man, there's something going on with Robbie right now. He sounds weird. And that's a good thing. You want them to be like, hey, what are you so excited about? Because then they want to know more, and you can show them more about your business. So make sure you invite over the phone. Use social networking as social networking, okay? Use Facebook as a means to get contact information so you can make a phone call. Okay, please trust me that I've seen people, they'll spam all over their Facebooks, and they'll put, oh my gosh, I'm working with Your Health. Inbox me if you want to join a business. But of course, that type of mass marketing doesn't really appeal to anybody. It's not personal. And this business is a relationship business. This is very personal. I mean, when we're talking to people, our job is to show them how your health can help them. So obviously, if we're putting some big Facebook group, it's not really doing us any good. More than anything, it just looks like we're trying to sell a bunch of stuff to people. And of course, we're in sales, but there is a right way of doing it, and then there's a wrong way of doing it, and that's why we want it to be more personal. So make sure you invite over the phone. The third piece here is less is more. Okay, this kind of goes with do not present, but sometimes people really want to give all the information that they can, that they know from their first week in the business in the invite. And that really is probably going to sabotage yourself, because the more information you give, the more assumptions the person you're calling makes based upon their limited experience, oftentimes in business, nutrition, network marketing, and things like that. So if you say, well, I just started this sales job, because when we're new, people say things like, I'm working a sales job, which is so much different than what we do. We own our own business. And I guess we're technically in sales, but we're really in team building. We're trying to build relationships, not make a sale. We're trying to build a team that's going to build for the rest of our lives. So it's much different than just trying to make a sale. But the moment you say sales, people are like, oh, I don't do sales. I can't do sales. But you look at all the top earners in Your Health, none of them have marketing backgrounds and none of them have sales backgrounds. Okay, of course, if you have a sales background, that's awesome. But most of the top earners were people that worked at banks, or they were engineers, or they had just part-time jobs, or they were stay-at-home moms that became very successful. So you want to avoid saying too much that can lead to assumption. The invite really is about, hey, I'm working on something I'm really excited about. I got to meet up with you and tell you more about it. When can you come over to my place? When can I come over to your place? Let's get a cup of coffee and talk about it. So it really is meant to be quick, to the point, and I'll give you all the information when I meet you. Well, what is it all about? Look, I totally understand that you want to know. I'll give you all the info when we meet up. I'm in a little bit of a rush right now. I'll talk to you then. So sometimes people are like, well, and I said this before, we trying to not tell them everything? No, we're not. We're not trying to tell them everything now. We absolutely want to give them everything, but once again, in the appropriate environment. Okay, the fourth thing is to be authentic. So you're going to have your business basics packet here, and there's going to be some example scripts in here. And of course, I'm going to give you some examples on this video of how I speak to people. Now, I'm different than you, okay? And what makes our business unique is us. So what's really important is you don't try to be something you're not. Don't be a robot. Don't cookie cutter copy everything that we tell you. Follow the skeleton, okay? Follow the basics, and then fill it in yourself, okay? Follow the general rules, but then fill it in yourself to make it how you would speak. Okay, now of course if you want to definitely sound professional, but you don't want to sound fake. Okay, this is I always try and make it clear. All you're doing here is you just got started in a business that you're really excited about. You have a lot of vision for it. You see how it could help a lot of people in their health, how it could help yourself, your family, help your financial situation, and create freedom. You also see how the person you're calling, how it can change their life. So all you're doing is saying, hey, look, I have this project going on. I'm working with some great friends of mine, some people I really have a lot of respect for. I gotta tell you about what we're doing. I really think it's something that's gonna be huge for us and for me. I gotta share it with you. Let's meet up. What's your schedule like? Okay, so it's very simple like that. And of course, I'm gonna give you a few more options of how to invite, and how you choose to invite is really up to you. Okay, it's based upon your comfort level, and I think that you should consult your sponsor. You should consult your upline, and decide what's best for each contact. I mean, really, when you get started, we want to hold your hand and give you baby steps for your first 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and help you really figure out what invite is best for this person, or how should I approach this person. And by the time you've invited 20 or 30 people, you'll have the hang of it. It'll be the most simple thing in the world for you. Okay. Last but not least is you need to be confident, you need to be urgent, and you need to be excited. Okay. Obviously confident that what you have going on is awesome, urgent because people have to check it out now. Especially for those of you that are newer, and you're about to call your top 20, 30, 40 people. There really is a big difference between checking this out this week and checking it out 2 weeks from now. I mean, I can tell you countless stories of people that kind of like guests that postponed, and literally they missed out on 10, 20, 30, 40 people in their team because they were a little bit slow to come check it out. And of course, that's up to them, and anybody can make it. But it's a big difference between having 3 or 4 people, stacked under you in your business than, being at the bottom. So you'd rather have it. So if people say, "Man, I'm just really busy this week," I would say, "Look, I totally understand. I'm busy too, seriously." But I definitely wouldn't nudge you to say that we have to meet up now unless it was very, very important, very urgent to meet up. So let's at least block out maybe 45 minutes, early, late, whenever, so I can tell you about this. We got to talk about it. And if you're confident like that, urgent and excited, everyone's going to want to know what you have going on and what you're doing, okay? So we say there's 3 different types of invites, okay? I'm fixing my shoe. There's 3 different types of invites, okay? There's the set up the expert invite, which is considered to be the 4-step invite, okay? Now there's the set up yourself invite, and then there's the simple and fast invite. Now the examples I've given you so far are the simple and fast invite, okay? So just getting it done, working on a project, really excited about it, working with some people I got a lot of respect for, some great friends. I really want to sit down with you and chat with you about it. Okay, that's the simple and fast invite. No, that's for the people that trust you and be willing to sit down with you as soon as possible. The expert invite, called the 4-step invite, is a way to invite your contacts to meet other people, to meet your sponsor, to meet your upline, so they can help you do your presentation. This is especially great when you're new and you're still sort of getting your comfort level. Of course, some people, it might be you come in here, I'm just ready to go, I'm ready to present already. We still suggest you watch a few presentations, your sponsor watches you do a few, just so we can make sure that you have a powerful presentation. So that's the setup, the expert invite, 4-step invite. That's what I'm going to review with you in this video for the most part. Okay, and those are for the red contacts, the people with a lot of influence, or greens you'd like help with, or when you're brand new. Set up yourself is a little bit more of a professional invite, okay, a little bit more serious invitation, but still people you're going to present to yourself. And then there's the simple and fast invite. So now in terms of the setup, the expert invite, we have 4 steps in this invite. I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea in this video on how to do this. And once again, I'll say I can only give you an idea, okay, and you definitely don't want to copy it verbatim. I suggest that you make it your own, write it down, and then of course practice with the people you work with. Okay, so you have greet, which is just how you greet somebody on the phone. Hey, how's it going? Like, just how you would greet people, greet how you would greet. Okay, edification, qualify, and lockdown. So we're going to go through these things with you on here and give you an idea of how to do it. Okay, now in terms of how you greet people on the phone, what I do, I'm just going to give you specifically what I do to give you an example, okay? When I greet somebody, let's say I'm calling my friend John, and he'll be like, "Hey Robbie," and I'll say, "Hey John, how's it going, man?" And he'll say, "Oh, good, man, just working, doing my thing." And I'll say, "Awesome, how's work going?" And he'll say, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." And I'll say, "All right, brother, hey, look, don't mean to cut you off, but I'm actually in a little bit of a hurry. Do you have a second to talk?" So that's how I started, okay? Just catch up for a moment, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And then I say, "Hey, look, I really actually am in a bit of a hurry. Do you have a second to talk?" The reason why I say that is because I want them to know that I'm actually calling for a good reason. Not that I don't want to speak to them right now socially, but that I am calling for a specific purpose. So they know that I'm serious about something, okay? Now, as soon as you're done, and they say, "Sure, man, what's going on?" Or so if John would say, "Sure, Robbie, what's up?" And I would say, "Look," and then I'm going to ask a question. Okay, I'm going to ask a question to pique their interest, okay, in what I'm doing, the business, the project, whatever it is, or the product, whatever it is you're calling them for. Okay, so what we have here, we call these the 4 fish. I know they're not all fish, but we just call them the 4 fish, okay? They kind of talk about individuals' different interests. Of course, I mean, there's a lot of people, but they sort of boil down into these 4 categories. You see sharks here. Sharks are people that are ambitious, money-motivated people, very goal-oriented. Urchins are very analytical people, numbers-driven, very skeptical. Dolphins are very fun, social, just want to have fun all the time. And whales are people that are all about helping people and service to others. So you're gonna now think about the person you're calling, and you're gonna ask a question to them based upon what their interest level is. So like, let's say I'm talking to John. I'm thinking of my friend John in Texas. So John is someone that I know is just, he wants to have a lot of fun. He loves hanging out with everybody, and he really, really wants to help people. He definitely wants to make money, but you know, his end game isn't just to make a lot of money. I just know that about John. So I would say, actually, John, so I called you for a reason. Do you have a second to talk? And he would say, sure. And I would say, well, hey, John, look, recently I just started working on a project that I'm really, really excited about. I'm having a lot of fun. Like, I'm working with some awesome people, and it's a project that's built upon serving people, really helping a lot of people, especially with their health. And there's actually also some really great money to be made. So, John, you'd be interested in something like that, right? And he would say, yeah, man, what's it all about? So that's how I finish my greeting. So my greeting includes just catching up for a second, letting them know that I just need a moment to talk, and then asking a yes question like that. And you can change it however you like. You could even make a little statement about them. So for example, let's say I'm calling someone that's a shark, like my friend Aaron, who's a little bit more money motivated. I would say, Aaron, do you have a second to talk? And he would say, yeah, man, what's up? And I would say, look, Aaron, I know you're someone that's really business-minded. I know you're someone that's really goal-oriented. I know you have a lot of stuff going on in your life right now. And recently I've gotten involved in a project that I think could be really, really big financially. It could be huge. I mean, international. Would you be interested in learning more about it? And then he would say, yeah, dude, what's it all about? You know, because that's Aaron. And that's, you know, he's someone that's goal-oriented. Aaron is very generous, I'll make sure I'm clear, but he's also someone, I mean, everybody would like to make money, right? But he's definitely someone that's always looking for the next big thing. So I'll just make a little statement about that. Another example would be that if I could, would you? If I call someone that I know loves to help people but also likes to make money, for example, I could do the if I could, would you? I would say, so John, you have a second to talk, right? And he'll say, yeah. I'll say, look, John, really just get to the point. John, if I could show you a way to make some great money through helping a ton of people, would you be interested? Yeah, man, what's it all about? So that's the yes question, and that's just piquing their interest to set them up to get them to come check it out. Because once they say yes to that question, it's kind of like it's understood that they're going to come check it out because we have something that they're interested in, right? So you can practice with your sponsor, your upline, the best ways of knowing your friends to properly approach them. I suggest you practice. The key is role play, role play, role play, role play. Constantly make phone calls. Now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to get a few videos together of me role playing with some of my top diamonds, some of my top leaders, so you can hear some examples of how they invite people. And I'll have that on the website right next to this video, okay? So it's going to be impromptu, much like all these videos. I'm sure you guys have noticed that all these videos are impromptu. These aren't scripted. I'm really just making these videos to help you guys. So that's it's definitely something that we're here to really try and help your careers, help your business, and make it more duplicable for you and your teams. Okay, so that's the first. The first step is your greeting. It's greeting, piquing interest, and things like that. Now, after they say yes, the next step is you edify. So remember, the first part was greet. Second part was edify. Now, edification is one of the most important skills that you're going to learn in this entire business because business people edify. Okay, so now I'm going to operate under the assumption that I'm talking to a lot of people here that are not business people by nature. Of course, some of you are, and then you know that speaking highly of other people and promoting great things is absolutely everything in business. But so many people come into this business, and it is your first time doing business. And for me, it was my first time doing business when I saw this, and I struggled with this. I was someone that was very skeptical. I was a pretty negative guy, so I wasn't really accustomed to talking highly of people, which makes me sound really bad, but I'm just being honest with you, that's just who I was before this business. I was more critical of others than empowering of others. Okay, but when you're going to invite your friend or family member to meet the third party, your sponsor or your upline, edifying your sponsor, your upline, is one of the most important things you will ever do to make sure that that expert is appreciated by the guest, the person that's seen this for the first time. So let's define edification. Edification is to raise the level of influence of another person, or to raise the level of influence of an event. I mean, you can edify anything. You can edify an event, you can edify a person, you can edify a trip, you can edify a camera, you can edify a cup of coffee, you can edify anything. But it's especially important here because when you edify someone else, you create urgency and you create appreciation and you create value. Okay, so this is called the edification triangle. I'm going to help you understand what all this means, and then how it really can help your business a ton. Okay, so now between you and your friend here, you can see you have trust. I would assume between you and your friend and family, there's a level of trust. They know that you would invite them to something that isn't worthwhile. And sometimes I make that point to people if they're being a little bit funny in the invite, like, Robbie, what is this? I'll say, Jonathan, look, first things first, let's just be clear. John, I wouldn't invite you to look at anything unless I thought it was incredible. You know that, right? Okay, cool. So let's just schedule this thing and we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay, so I'll pull the trust card, the T card. I'll pull that because really, I'm not going to invite my friends to anything that isn't awesome. I would never invite my friend or family member to something that I didn't believe in. I'm sure that if you're watching this, you're the exact same way. So now, because you have trust between yourself and your friend, you're going to edify the expert. You're going to speak highly of your sponsor, your upline, and by doing that, because your friend trusts you, it's going to create a level of respect between your friend and the expert. So when your sponsor, your upline, comes in to speak to your spouse, your family member, or your friends, or your kids, or whatever, they're intrinsically going to trust that person, respect them, because you've given your stamp of approval to this person by talking about what they mean to you and giving some real, genuine edification about what this person has done and who they are. Okay? So it's so important to understand that a lot of times when we get started in business, right, our friends and family don't necessarily take us seriously. And especially because when we're new, we're still learning the ropes. We might not be able to immediately, confidently sit down with somebody and do a great presentation. Within 2 weeks, you will be able to. But your very first one, you might not feel that confident yet. That's why you want to bring a third party in until you're more confident in how you're going to speak to your friends and family on your own as an independent business owner. Okay, so how to edify? Okay, how exactly do you edify? What I really suggest you do is when you edify, you try and edify towards the 4 fishes that I showed you before. So you would say things based upon what will pique that person's interest. Now what I don't want you to do is I'm trying to think of the right word. Don't BS. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Don't over exaggerate. It's not about making this person like, oh my gosh, they're the next Donald Trump. That's not what it's about. It's just making sure that the person that you're speaking to knows, look, I'm going to be introducing you to a great friend of mine named Daniel Hamilton. He's actually become a bit of a mentor to me, and Dan's actually been an entrepreneur for the past 10 years. Okay, he's someone that's done a lot of business, but more than that, he's really built a company that's really been built on serving people, helping people, and he's one of the most generous people that I know. So I just want you to know that I'm going to be introducing you to him, and he's going to be kind of going over this project, and I just want you to really know that he is someone that I have an immense amount of respect for, and someone that I really take seriously, and to meet him definitely is definitely a privilege. Okay, so now you might not be introducing your friend to someone like that, but even if you're introducing them to an old friend of yours, maybe your sponsor is an old friend of yours, you say that. You say, actually, I'm really looking forward to introducing you to my friend Mitch. Mitch and I have been friends for a few years, and I've got a lot of respect for him. He's someone that's helped me out a ton, and he's actually building a project right now that's helping a lot of people. He's building a project that's helping a lot of people with their health, and I really just have a ton of respect for what he's done, and he's someone that has been a great friend to me, and I'm really, really excited to introduce you to him. He's someone, though, who's in the process of building a multi-million-dollar company. And so he really is also not just a great friend to me, but someone that's definitely moving up in the business world. He's also very well connected to people that are on the board of directors for this entire company. So he really is an incredible guy. So you take a moment to talk about why that person's valuable. Now, if you have a story about the person you're going to be edifying, that's even better. If you can tell a story about how that person in the past has helped you out, that person was there for me at a really tough time in my life, so they're not just a business partner of mine, they're a great friend. If you have a story like that, that's a great way of edifying. Okay, now, I'll make a quick point here. Edification is something that we should do all the time, not just during the invite. And I'm not saying in the business either. We all as humans, we love people that speak highly of others and empower other people. And we inherently don't want to be around people that are negative or critical or always want the attention to themselves. So I'm saying that to you because as you become a business person and as you become a leader, and especially as you're building a relationship business, you really want to try now really looking at the positives in people. Look at the great things they've done. Okay, if you look at me, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've done things that I wish I hadn't done. I've hurt people, but I've also worked really hard on myself, and I pushed really hard to get better. And I'm sure you're the same way. I'm sure you've made mistakes, and I'm sure you've hurt people. And how much better does it feel when someone focuses on what you've done well than what you've done wrong? And when you focus on what someone does well, and when you empower someone based upon what they've done well, they want to get better. They want to get better for you. They want to live up to your words. So that's just a little bit of a leadership point, but I want to share it with you because edification, when you talk highly of other people, inherently they want to talk highly of you. And you see this upward spiral we can create of positivity, not just in our business, but in the world. I challenge you, when you're out and just living your life and you're going to a coffee shop or you're going shopping, to constantly think, how can I build the people up around me? And what you'll start to do is you'll start to attract a lot of people because of who you are and how you empower and you raise everyone up. And that really is edification, right? To raise the level of influence or just raise the level of another person. So the way the invite would go is you would say, hey John, how are you, brother? Good, man, I just got off work. How are you, Robbie? Oh, I'm awesome, bro. Hey, look, don't mean to cut you off, but I actually am in a little bit of a rush right now. Do you have a second to talk? Say, yeah, man, what's up? I'll say, hey John, look, honestly, recently I got started in a project that I'm really, really excited about. It's a project that I really think you'd resonate with. It's all about helping people. It's making a huge impact, but there's also some great money to be made. John, you'd be interested in something like that, right? Yeah, Robbie, what's it all about? And I'll say, well look, John, actually, recently I just started working with a great friend of mine. His name is Dan Hamilton. And he's someone that I've had respect for a very, very long time in my life. And he's actually in the process of building a multi-million-dollar company all across Ohio. And not only has he been successful in business, but he's someone that's been a great friend to me, a loyal friend to me over my life. And I have a lot of respect for him, a lot of trust for him, John. And Dan told me that if I had any good friends that obviously I cared about, that were sharp and that were trustworthy, he'd be willing to talk to them about this project that I'm telling you about. So I just had to give you a call, John. So now that's kind of my little piece on edification. As soon as I say, John, I just had to give you a call, now that's where I already get into the qualify part. And you can follow this on your packet. I just said, John, actually, Dan has a few times open. He has times open on Wednesday at 7 o'clock or Thursday at 7 o'clock, which is best for you. I always give 2 times and ask which is best, just to make it very clear for them. And then after that, and they say, well, 7 on Wednesday. And I'll say, great. And then I go into the lockdown and I just talk about, John, we're going to meet with Daniel. It's really important that we dress well. It's really important that we bring a pad of paper and a pen, we take some notes. He really is an incredible guy, and I'm really excited to have him share with you what we have going on, because I really believe it's something that's going to be huge for us. And that's generally the invite. Okay, I'm obviously just doing an overview of it. I want you to review it in your packet and also really practice it with the person that you're working with. And for each of you, it's going to be different. I mean, some of you just might do this invite a few times because you're going to do the majority of your presentations yourself within your after your first 2 weeks. Okay, but knowing how to always edify, though, really is valuable. If you're going to be inviting your friend just to come meet your sponsor, I suggest you really set it up similarly. Make sure they're edified, because if you have a friend sit down with your sponsor and you have not edified at all, they're just going to look at each other like, hey. So it's really important that if you set it up properly, they'll say, hey, Robbie, it's really a pleasure to meet you. And then if I'm set up properly, like for example, I can tell you from someone that's done quite a few presentations, I can tell night and day difference when I'm set up properly. If I'm set up well and I can tell the person set this guest up to meet me well, oh my gosh, I can't begin to tell you how easy it is to have a great conversation, because that person has said, Robbie is someone that's valuable. And it's not that I need to be edified to feel good about myself, like I feel good about myself, It's not that I need the attention. That's not the point. The point is, if I'm set up well, I can send the right message. The person's going to be open to me. They're going to appreciate my time. If they do, if someone is open to me, I can teach them how to build this system to become very successful. If someone's not open, if someone's closed, then the deal is off, because they're not going to trust what I'm saying. They're going to wonder if this is legit, and I don't have time for that. And none of your sponsors or uplines have time to be wasted on a poorly set up presentation, because if it's set up well, man, it's like a symphony. Your guest, your family member, your friend comes in like, hey, I really appreciate you spending time with me. I really appreciate you sharing this with me. You say, no problem. I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you, because obviously I'm so excited to work with John here. We're going to build something great together. So let's talk about it. So if the setup is great, it can be so awesome because there's appreciation and value for what we're saying. Okay, so I just want you to be conscious of that as you build your business, and making sure you create edification, not just in the invite, but in everything. Okay. So moving on. As you're going through your invite, you're going to get questions, obviously. So you're going through your invite. Some people just say, oh, I'm so excited, let's check it out. But some will say, hey, Robbie, sounds awesome, but what exactly are we going to be doing, right? Or what is the project all about? These are questions that you're inevitably going to get. And I want to make sure it's clear. When people ask questions, it doesn't mean they're skeptical. It just means they want to know what's going on, because you're not saying a ton. We're doing less is more. Because we do want to, send the whole message physically at the presentation, not over the phone. So what you want to do when people ask questions like that is, of course, you don't blow them off. You don't not respond. That's rude. And you definitely want to make sure that they know that you understand. So the first thing you do when they say, so Robbie, what is the project all about? The first thing you do is acknowledge. You definitely don't ignore their question. You acknowledge their question. You say, John, I totally understand why you asked that question. But look, now you answer the question. John, really? That's why I'm going to be setting you up with Daniel, so he can kind of discuss the entire project with you. I'm still quite new in the project, John, so if I tried to explain it, I probably would miss a few points. So that's why I'm going to set you up with Daniel, okay? But trust me, I wouldn't set you up with it unless it was not just awesome, but it's going to be incredible. Okay, so John, what is your schedule on Wednesday or Thursday? Are you open at 7? So you answer, and you get back to a question. You redirect. You ask a question to regain control of the conversation, and then you continue the invite. Okay, so whatever questions they ask, especially when I'm new, I always say, look, I totally understand why you'd ask that, Mitch. I totally understand. But look, really, that's why I'm setting you up to meet with Daniel. That's why I'm going to meet up with you in person, because really, it's so much more easy to explain this project in person with you than over the phone. Obviously, I'm sure you can understand. So that's why I just really quick want to schedule a time to meet up. I'll give you all the info there. Trust me, I got a lot I want to tell you, but I'd rather do it in person, okay? So what is your schedule Wednesday, Mitch? At 7 o'clock, are you open? So now you can run through some more examples with your sponsor or your upline, but that's how I respond to any questions in the invite, okay? And what I suggest you do is, if you ever get a question that you didn't know how to answer and it didn't go well, which is going to happen, it might happen once or twice, right? Just make sure you call. You call and you ask for help. That's one of the biggest things I'll always say is communication, honesty. If you have a challenge, the invite, you don't know how to answer it, what I want you to do, I want you to call your sponsor, or I want you to call your upline, okay? And I want you to say, hey, Aaron, I just had this invite and it didn't go great. They asked a question, I just didn't know how to respond to it. Can we role play it? And then have Aaron, or whoever your sponsor is, invite you, and then you give them that question and see how they respond. If you're as a business owner, if you're proactive like that, as you build your business, this is going to be so simple for you. You won't have more than one bad invite or one or two challenging invites in your career. It will be very, very, very simple. Of course, some of you come in here with a lot of credibility already. You've already done quite a bit of business, so there's really no such thing as a bad invite for you, because you can just say, hey, I got this project going on. We got to talk about it. What's your schedule? And there are quite a few people like that too, that because of your previous credibility, it's that simple for you. But of course, the reason why we're going through this, even if you are listening to this and you think to yourself, man, this sounds like, man, are people struggling like that? I could just call people and it's that easy. That's great for you, okay? But at one point, you're going to have people in your group that need to practice these things. So make sure, regardless if it's challenging for you or not, that you kind of learn these things so you can help your people learn how to answer these questions and really learn how to use these invites. Hope that makes sense, okay? So now to conclude, I want you guys to review those scripts in your Business Basics packet. Make sure you make it your own, make sure it's authentic, and then the biggest thing now is to role play this invite with your sponsor and really make sure that it's strong and clear. What I suggest you do is you make your first few calls with your sponsor, or have them on three-way so they can hear you make your first few calls if you want that support. If you don't, then just go on your merry way and do it yourself. But if you want that support, I do suggest that you have someone on there so they can hear you. Okay, and if you're struggling at all, make sure you ask. Okay, so that's it for step 3 of Business Basics, our invite training. Now we're going to go on to step 4, which is opening.